It is a wintry, snowy, crazy day. So yeah, I'm feeling the Moody Blues. And we're going to look at some Moody Blues here. That's what we're going to do. So I had to flip cameras. I apologize because one camera died and I had to start with my phone. So this is the first time I've ever shot a video on my phone. It was interesting. Anyway, technical difficulties and all. So what I am doing is I got these lovely dots from Wildflowers and I thought they were so fantastic that I felt like I just needed to do something with them. And I wanted to do something kind of early spring. And it really matches our nor'easter we're having currently. Yep. Because it's April 4th. So why would you not have a strange nor'easter that wants to bury you in snow? Yep. I live in New England. Welcome to it. So what I am doing is using some base coat and some dots on top of an ombre finished set of nails. These are Madame Glam colors. I don't remember all of the names of them, but they are blues and purples that I used. I think one of them might have been Mama Bear because that's a favorite of mine, although I feel like no. I feel like it was a different blue. But anyway, it's a lovely shade of gray blue, light purple, and a white, and I ombre'd them together. I lied. It's not a white. It's a really, really, really pale lilac. Really pale. Almost white. And so I've applied dots to those two. I'm going to pull the other nails off. We're going to put those in the light for a few minutes. While we do that, I'm going to do some coloring book stamping and some outlining. And I haven't done that in a while. I think it was like maybe last summer, the last time I did that. For you on film. So I thought it might just be fun. And I was having a bit of fun with the whimsy of, you know, like early spring clouds and raindrops and fairies and flowers. So I didn't go all doom and gloom here, even though I'm feeling it a little bit. All right, I'm not really doom and gloomy, but so we're having an eclipse, for those of you that don't know it. And I think most of us do at this point. So if you're going to see the eclipse, I would love your comment about what that experience was like for you. I think it's going to be fantastic. I was hoping to do a set of eclipse nails, but I have them on myself, but I don't think I ever actually got to doing the nails for a set. So maybe we'll have to do like some spacey celestial nails at some point soon in the future. In the meantime, I have just stamped with some clouds. Now I'm going to do some blue raindrops, and we're going to use that same blue later on to outline those blue clouds. But for right now, I'm just going to slap some raindrops falling on my head on this nail. So I hope you're having a good spring. Mine has been a little wild and crazy. Not surprising. But that's okay. The peoples that I work with, the little peoples that I work with at school, gave me strep throat for the first time in like 10 plus years. So that was fun. So I've been off camera for a little while because I've had a lot going on. I also just finished my reading specialist license, so that was a whole lot of work too. And I'm excited that that's over with. I don't know why I keep going back to school. It's beyond me. Other than my license, you have to keep up your license. Any of you that might be teachers out there, you get that, you know it, you feel it deeply in your soul. I know you do. So, how long did this set take me? Let's get back to the nails, not me. This set took me about 25 minutes. It is not a quick set. I'm not going to lie. This is going to take a little time. The reason why, or one of the reasons why, is because of the coloring book. So if you're going to do this on a client, I highly recommend you do it ahead of time. Have some extra stampers handy that you can prep ahead. The clouds themselves, the raindrops, all of that aren't a big deal, but you can see that stamp I set aside. The reason I set it aside is because I'm waiting for it to dry, and now we're going to fix that one up now that it's done. So you have to let the stamps dry in between different parts. And that is what takes so long. So if I'm going to do this on a client, I usually try to prep it ahead. I usually try to find out like the 2 weeks before when they're in, what they're looking to do, so that I can have these things prepped ahead of time. You can prep them on a silicone mat like I have underneath my work pad. That's my work pad. This is a silicone mat. You can kind of see the different nails and things that outlines that are on the mat. So prepping it ahead is important. I'm going to go ahead and color this all in. I did film the whole thing. I didn't put all of that on here because you guys would have been watching me color forever. Nobody wants to watch me color forever. So I sped up this part and cut out some of it just so that you could see the important parts, how to get in between all of those lines. You are layering colors, so remember whatever you put on first is going to be the thing in the foreground, and then you're building color back from there. So the last color you put on is going to be the color farthest away or most layered on, okay? So you have to think about that when you're reverse stamping. I'm going to go in and put this on. It does not take a long time for the stamping paints. I'm using stamping paints for this, so it doesn't take a long time for those stamping paints to dry. And now you've got a beautiful rose. I am going to go in and just touch up the center of this a little bit because it got a little dark right in the middle, and so I'm going to use that pink to just create some highlights on the rose to finish that off. Once we finish doing that, you can see my stamp was bigger than my nail, and that's okay. I oftentimes will do that. If you've got, a lot of times people ask, like, how do you use a stamp with a whole scene? You use it across nails. So that's what you're going to see me do next. I've used this technique before, but again, if your stamp is too dry, it won't transfer. So you got to put sticky base coat on, let it dry for a few seconds. That's the most important thing. Once you put the sticky base, let it dry, let it dry, let it dry. When it's just a little tacky, so after about 30 to 60 seconds, that's when you flip it over and stamp. So now I've used that, the little bud, the rose bud, a little further down on a different nail. So what that's going to do is give you, you could use this across all 5 nails if you wanted to create a, like a French nail scene at the bottom. But I didn't, I just wanted a couple of little flowers. So I'm also going to go in and do a coloring book kind of outline on these clouds just to give them a little bit. I felt like they got a little lost on that blue background. So I touched those up. So now those are done. Again, I took some of that part of the video out because it would be boring to watch me just paint edges on clouds. You do need a really fine brush to do that part. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a really thick line, and that's not a lot of fun. The next thing we're going to do is a double stamp. So I am going to use the silver first. I'm going to put that up on top of that bud. And it is, because one nail has a moon, one nail has a sun. We'll do that in a minute. But I'm going to go back over this with the dark blue, I believe it was. And I'm going to offset it just a little tiny bit when I stamp over it so that it ends up with a, almost like a shadow. So you're going to see that in just a second. I'm messing around with other things, but I'm going to go back to that. So this is the sun. We're going to put the sun on top of the other rose nail in just a second. I did not do a coloring book look with this. I just left the outline because I wanted to leave it kind of simple. I didn't want to overdo, and I liked it just the way it was. But I'm going to show you a quick trick. So this is one of those areas where I did not transfer the stamp completely, so I had some spots I had to go back and outline. So you can do that. You just need a really fine brush, and you gotta be slow. So don't worry if your lines don't transfer completely sometimes. You can just, you know, put them back in. It's not a big deal. The last thing we're going to be doing after we do this moon is to add a few fairies, because I don't know, I just think fairies and dots and bubbles are all kind of a whimsical way to finish this off. It was kind of a whimsical set. Started out as a Moody blue set and it ended up a little whimsical. So I hope you guys are all well out there. I do hope that we're going to get some spring real soon. So there you go. You can see that shadow. I pulled it up a little bit just so you could see it. It's hard to see it. You'll see it on the picture at the end too, where you see that silver offset. So it's the same stamp twice. One is offset just slightly from the other, so it makes like a shadow image, if you will. What else can I tell you is new? I don't know. There's not a lot new at the moment. It's, you know, it's like a waiting game, waiting for spring, waiting to plant flowers and, you know, stuff. Waiting for sunshine and warmth. That would be good. Okay, this last nail, we're going to put a fairy at the top corner and the bottom corner, and that is going to frame our little bubbles. as I try to throw it off the nail thing. Yeah. So we're going to do that. And then, like I said, this last one is going to be just a little, I like this plate. It's a Maniology plate. If I can zoom in on the number, I will put it in the description for you. And there you have it. Now we have some top coat, and I'll bring those up so you can see them a little closer. So those are our cute little fairies hanging out with the bubbles, and our roses and suns and clouds and moons, and just a fun little quick set. I love the ombre finish on these. I think I did go matte with them. I thought they looked really good in matte, and I hadn't done anything matte in a while. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again next week. Enjoy the eclipse. Bye for now.